Today, I want to talk about how a wave of lawsuits will end up bankrupting many brokers and trading platforms, unless they stop facilitating the sale of synthetic shares. I also want to talk about how AMC will be generating billions of dollars in profits as early as next year. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I'll dive straight in with the key information. So, it seems yet another company, FNGR or Finger Motion, has hired and retained a law firm to go after some brokers. It says Finger Motion is pleased to announce that it's retained attorney Mark R. Basile and his securities litigation firm to investigate recent activities surrounding the company's stock performance and take whatever legal action necessary to prevent potential market participants utilising unlawful means from further hurting shareholders. This law firm is already pursuing several RICO actions against toxic lenders and market manipulation by brokers. On top of this, we already know Wes Christian and a number of company CEOs from Mullen, potentially MMAT, potentially Highcroft Mining and potentially AMC in the future are already or will be suing brokers for the same thing. So let's talk about how a wave of these lawsuits will end up bankrupting many of these brokers and trading platforms unless they stop selling synthetic shares on behalf of those market makers. We know a very common tactic in business, especially amongst large companies against individuals, is to lock them into lawsuits to effectively bankrupt them. Tons of individuals and companies get into spats and end up getting locked into a 5, 10, 15-year lawsuit, which costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions or even hundreds of millions, and often ends up with somebody going bankrupt. We know Wes Christian over the years has helped win tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in legal settlements. But the problem is that Wes Christian was only entering these lawsuits very sporadically, maybe one a year, maybe one high-profile case every few years. But what would happen if market manipulation and brokers and trading platforms' role in this manipulation was publicised and this flow of lawsuits increased dramatically? Instead of these brokers and trading platforms getting locked into one lawsuit every few years, what if they suddenly ended up being locked into 5 to 10 lawsuits, maybe even more, every single year? All of a sudden, these trading platforms and brokers would be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on litigation, especially as the precedent has already been set, and it is indeed these brokers' responsibilities to monitor their clients. Very quickly, brokers left, right and centre would be falling unless they decide to stop facilitating the sale of synthetic shares. And all of a sudden, that price suppression on stocks like Finger Motion, Mullen, MMAT, AMC, Highcroft Mining, GameStop, and others would all disappear. And to show you some prime examples of that suppression, check out this tweet from Edward Burchuk and also this separate tweet as well. Signing up to Moomoo is free and it's easy, it just requires that temporary deposit, but it's a really great way to help support the channel. You can currently get a guaranteed free share of Tesla or of Google and up to 15 free shares on top of that, worth up to $2,000 each, which you could always use to buy more shares of AMC, GameStop or of any other stock. All you have to do is sign up to Moomoo using the link in the description below and make the required qualifying temporary deposit. And on top of that, Moomoo has tons of technical indicators and advanced charting tools. It's very easy to use and they also have their own options trading platform. Edward tweeted saying AMC's OBV is about to blast through all-time highs. You're witnessing the OBV past the peak of June 2021, but yet the price is still being suppressed. He said the price of AMC is being suppressed and manipulated by these criminal Wall Street entities like Citadel, Virtue, banks, hedge funds, and all of the rest of these trash institutions and market manipulators. When these brokers can no longer sell these synthetics, you'll not only see the OBV reaching all-time highs, but the price reaching all-time highs as well without that suppression. Especially as Tvika tweeted this screenshot saying, "Did you see this?" This is a screenshot of the AMC order book of recent bid and ask offers. What you can see here is a bidder, maybe it's an individual like you or I, maybe it's an institution or a hedge fund wanting to buy shares of AMC at $7.50. You've then got the next available ask offer, which is a sell offer at $4,000 per share. But obviously the price doesn't shoot from $7.50 up to $4,000 per share, because you've got a market maker, maybe it's Virtual Citadel, plugging that gap and selling shares at $8.15. This is that price suppression, that liquidity provision by these market makers or infinite liquidity fairies, suppressing natural price movement or reducing volatility and offering shares for sale that don't exist at just $8 per share. This is quite literally these market makers being caught in the act, plugging that gap between the buy price and the sell price. And we've still got the mainstream media and even the New York Times posting articles about how the film The Money brings a dangerous allure to meme stocks. This entire article in the New York Times basically explains how retail investors don't know what they're doing and tend to lose more money than the average person. And you may wonder, Tom, why do the mainstream media continually bash AMC, GameStop and The Money? Well, Nate has answered that by saying InvestorPlace is owned by MarketWise, and one of their largest investors, the largest overall shareholder, is, you guessed it, Citadel Securities. And Citadel is currently short, or has been short, all three of these securities that were mentioned in this article by InvestorPlace. The reason why the mainstream media writes negative articles about AMC and about GameStop and about other meme stocks is because these mainstream media outlets like InvestorPlace are effectively owned by Citadel. But let's talk about the facts surrounding AMC's new revenue stream and just how much money it could make. I said yesterday I thought the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert film could gross $1 billion in revenue. Vekeby actually disagrees and he thinks it could generate $1.5 billion. But let's actually do some quick calculations. Because you may remember it was announced yesterday, the pre-sales for this Taylor Swift concert film have already surpassed $100 million. And as a result, AMC is adding additional show times and additional show days to meet demand. So just how does $100 million in ticket pre-sales compare to some of the big blockbuster films from 2022 and 2023? Well, Avatar: Way of Water grossed $38 million in advanced ticket sales or pre-sales, and that was as at the 16th of December, the same day as its release date. And they said that $38 million in pre-sales would be enough to put it above Top Gun and Jurassic Park's opening weekends of $126 million and $145 million. Avatar: Way of Water actually went on to gross $2.3 billion off of just $38 million in ticket pre-sales. So let's just imagine how much money this Taylor Swift concert film tour could generate off of not just $38 million in pre-sales, but off of $100 million in pre-sales. Could it potentially generate $4.5 billion of revenue across the box office, of which the majority of that goes to AMC? Very possibly. Could that Taylor Swift film alone, if it does generate $4.5 billion at the box office, generate for AMC $1 billion in profits in one singular quarter? Also possibly. So it's actually possible that AMC could be generating billions of dollars in profits, maybe as early as 2024, maybe as early as Q4 of this year. Hilariously, I also saw this tweet about Taylor Swift and how she's a terrible person for owning multi-million-dollar private jets. It wouldn't surprise me if InvestorPlace releases another article today about how Taylor Swift owning private jets is of course bad for AMC. It seems InvestorPlace and the mainstream media try to spin literally anything possible into bad news for AMC. At this rate, InvestorPlace is going to tell us when AMC is generating billions of dollars in profits, that it's somehow bad and that it somehow means AMC is going bankrupt. It seems to me the mainstream media, the shorts and the shills will never quit, but it also seems to me that retail investors are smarter than the mainstream media, and instead of reading the mainstream media, they just look for the facts. And the fact is that more and more of these companies are starting lawsuits against brokers and trading platforms, and the fact is that Taylor Swift will generate billions of dollars of revenue at least for AMC. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.